All right. Where we go?
Chicken.
All right, set us up. Where we go? Who's the first?
I'm the starter.
Okay.
Here we go. Ooh. Are we all ready? Mm-hmm. All right, everybody. So today we're talking about sibling roles. And the question I want to put out to all of you is, if you could give your sibling role a superpower, what would it be?
You want to book in this team? Okay.
If you could give your sibling, if you could give your sibling a superpower.
No, if you
sibling role.
give
your sibling role a superpower, what would it be? Y'all have to go, because I feel like this question is gonna be different where you are in order. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I've done a lot, so I don't know. So y'all go.
I think it makes sense. Like, I think I'm sure where you came in the order of our births, is going to affect how you saw yourself or your role in relation to the rest of your siblings. So it makes sense that there's going to be some variation. But when you think about how we interact with each other, as we were growing up, what did you decide? This is just who I'm going to be. This is how I'm going to show up for my siblings. Name that superpower, because it is a superpower. That's how you identify, it's how you show up for each other, how you show your support for each other. I consider it a superpower, so.
Okay, well, I think mine has probably been protector. Like, I've always felt like it was my duty to make sure that you all were good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because I kind of like early on that role to take care of your hair, to get you dressed, to, by the time you were born, I was 16, so I was having conflict with the parentals. So it was like, if we had so we had it right. So by the time you were born, I was pretty much out of the house. You know what I mean? So, but for them, I was always kind of like in caretaker mode. You know what I mean? Like, when I say that, because they were gone a lot. They were gone. Did multi-level marketing businesses. So I had to make sure you got fed, you got changed. Like that was it. So maybe it was that I had to take you with me to the store. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I had to do Nikki's hair. It was, yeah. So I felt like my superpower was protector. Not that I was your parent, but I always got put in that caretaking, of you kind of role.
Okay, so like Superman-ish?
Yeah. Superwoman!
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, so yeah.
Not Hulk.
Not Hulk.
Not like Hulk. No, more like, I don't know, is Florence Nightingale a superpower? Like, yeah.
What you, Florence Nightingale?
To some people who know who she is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, generally.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Okay,
Wonder Woman would be it. I spin around.
So true.
With my shield on. Yeah, that would be it. So I think that was my superpower.
That makes sense for the protector role. Because Superman was a protector, but he was a protector.
He was running and saving people.
He was running and saving people.
Back and call.
But Wonder Woman would hear a call of distress from miles away, and she would show up to protect.
There you go.
Not rescue. So I think that's a
bars. Bars. That's a bar.
Yeah, the people know their characters.
Tell you what you got.
So I wrote down a couple things. I'm thinking mind reader. I'm thinking characters who have hypersensory sensitivities, like they just pick up on a lot of stuff. I'm thinking about characters who are picking up on stuff and trying to see it from multiple sides. And then there's this character that comes to mind from an anime program that's running right now called Jujutsu Kaisen. And he is a character who he doesn't speak because his superpower essentially is when he speaks, his words are so powerful. So when he talks, he says random things related to sushi.
Tuna fish.
So he'll be like, tuna, nigiri. So he says things that aren't that meaningful, but they all understand what he's saying. But when he's in his fight mode, he'll say like blasters, and his power is very formidable. And so I'm there's a lot of things about my role that are, I think, more subtle. Like I'm the youngest, you all were older. When I'm coming up, I'm seeing a lot of conflict. Like you fighting this one, just the inmates was running the asylum because mommy was at work, and so I'm just seeing y'all fighting, arguing, and you have kids, so you trying to take care of your kids, and then you're trying to juggle. I'm very close to age and your kids, but you would talk to me as if I was your kid and you weren't my mother. Right. And so I'm like 4 years older than your youngest child and telling you what you're not going to tell me. So my experience is like a lot of conflict. So because of that, I just tried really hard to stay in the background, watch, and do everything I could to not be a source of conflict. And if I felt courageous enough, try to be a source of peacemaking or mending. I think that was more subtle because I often didn't feel courageous enough to do that, but I think the way I move in the world is like, okay, well, here's her perspective. I see why she's mad. Okay, I see his response to that, but he's not seeing it this way. And so I'm constantly trying to assemble a bunch of perspectives to figure out how to insert myself, if there's an opportunity to insert myself, to reduce the conflict. And so I think the superpower that comes from that is a sort of this kid from JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen, which I can't remember his name. I was also thinking about Professor X, kind of just like the actual mind reaction, ability to tap into people's disparate points of view and wanted to create space where people could be themselves or be together, be in harmony with the world. I think that might be a little more of an overextension of what I think the power is, but that's kind of where I'm landing.
Well, shoot, you're the only one that brought pen and paper, so you're able to express in such an eloquent way.
Because if I don't, it's just going to be gibberish.
You're right.
You're talking for 30 minutes.
Right.
So roles, right? We weren't smart to do that. I ain't bring no pen, no paper. Roles, I could say when I was younger, it was Hulk smash. It was just Hulk smash because of the anguish I was dealing with as a kid, losing my father, who was the world to me. And I didn't know how to respond, and I didn't have anybody I felt there that understood. So yeah, Hulk smash. And
Hulk smash, like tearing up.
Like it was just.
Because I don't see the Hulk smash, like the way I'm thinking about Hulk smash.
He was angry. He didn't have a way
I
to
get
show
that
his emotion,
part.
right?
I just didn't see the Hulk smash destruction on the outside. So
Okay.
it was like
Okay.
internal.
So it was, so you only saw it when it clicked, like David Banner. I mean, like the Incredible Hulk. Mm-hmm. You only saw it when he got really angry. Mm-hmm. And so there were times where, of course, I got really angry. There were times when, the one that stands out is, we're in elementary school and I'm on the other side. It's, we're in the playground. It's recess time. Some kid was like, oh, they messing with your sister over there. They messing with your sister over there. And walking all the way around the building, going over there. They messing with you. And this was like close to right after Dad passed away. I don't remember. Look, all I remember is he got in my face, saying something. I blacked out and he was on the ground. I just socked him cold. He was on the ground. And it was just, it was always in the streets. If I'm always fighting or doing this and that and the other. So that was the young role. So you didn't see it at home because I didn't want to, for one, you guys are ladies, you guys are women. And so I always made sure, other than Danita, It's like, no, I always
gonna
make
say,
sure.
'cause he Hulk smashed me.
I always try to make sure, to be as kind as I could in my adolescence. But as an adult now, I was thinking about the roles, and now I'm taking like a Black Panther, Wakanda way, because I always want to be like there for you. I always want to be, if you need anything, I always want to be accessible to you. And I always make sure, like, Danny would call me, hey brother, I need this. Or Tiffany call, hey, I want to bounce something off you. And Crystal, as short as she is, she don't call me for nothing, so I got to check on her. I got to call, say, hey, what's going on over there? And I say, hey, if you need something, let me know. She didn't go ask, but I just want to make sure that you know that I am there and that I love you and I'm available for whatever you need. And I do that for everybody that's close to me, so I can see that difference. If my roles, we're talking about superpowers, that's probably the best way I can describe that. That's a good ass question.
I think so. That's a solid response.
You always answer.
Yeah.
I know if I call you, you're going to answer. We'll call you back in 15 minutes, which I admire.
Yeah.
I don't aspire. But I admire. 2 days later.
Yeah.
And when I call, it's like last minute, like I need you like in an hour. You know what I mean? And you make it happen. So you ain't Hulk smashing no more.
No, I ain't Hulk smashing no more. And it's important. It's very important to me because I always say, and I live by creed, you make time for what matters to you. People make time for the things that matter to them in their life. And if you just make excuses on why you can't be there for someone, then you got to really question on what's really important. Because every day, every second, I don't want to deep in the weeds, but every day, every second, it's not promised.
Right.
Absolutely not promised. And so that is the utmost importance to me.
I mean, that just makes me feel horrible because I'm the sibling who doesn't call, and geez, like if I had that,
You don't call at all.
That's not it though.
But I don't call all the time.
You
No,
You don't do it at all.
not to Kermit.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't call me. So, and that's what. And I'll say this too, because there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know that you went through as we had conversations, like at school. Like when you at school, oh man, we was struggling. We eat 3 grains of rice. Me and my roomie was doing this, that, and the other. I'm like, damn, where was I when I was, making stupid money, being single with one child and blowing it all in erroneous places? And that's not your fault, right?
No,
That's not your fault at all, and that's
absolutely
not
not my fault.
no, absolutely not my fault. Absolutely not
And
your
it's
fault.
not your fault
But
either.
it's not my fault either. But I look at it and I change how I operate now, saying just checking in and seeing what's good. And it doesn't have to be money. It could be time. It could be anything like that. And so I take that as don't feel bad.
No, I
because
don't feel bad.
there's a strength that you have that I admire because of that.
So I think for my sibling role, I probably did close up just a little bit. I admired Danita tremendously. You had a pizzazz, you had a zest for life, you had style, swag,
Hello.
you loved music, I love music. It was just, cool. You're my big sister, you're very cool. And so, having that admiration for you and then you leaving because of the parentals that you mentioned was like, I lost my shiro.
Oh.
And so, okay, so it's like I lost my shiro. So it kind of made me kind of go in a little bit. Because it was like, man, I love my sister Sierra, but I hate when she's gone. And not that Nikki wasn't my shiro, but you were different. You were a different sister than she was. And so for me, the role I took on was I want to show up for my siblings before they ask. So whatever they, Tiff, I knew what it was like in college. Like I would have these art shows and nobody would come, or I would do all this stuff in school. I know I was a stupid overachiever. Not super overachiever, but I did a whole lot of stuff in school, and then I was like, okay, nobody shows up, but it's okay. You know, my teachers are like, hey, and the parents are like, oh, who's that girl doing that stuff? But I was like, okay, I don't have a cheerleader in the audience. So when Tip was like, oh, I'm doing this dance program at school in New York, I was like, say less. I'm coming to your show. I'll hop on 2 buses to get there. It didn't matter. I'll drag Kennedy with me, you know, my daughter to go. When we were younger and we were struggling and I worked and I knew you didn't, when I went to shop at Marshall's, I made sure I came home with something for you. When you needed me for anything, yes.
Yeah, and I
Yes,
feel
and
bad that I didn't come to a show.
No.
Like that really
I'm
is
trying to remember. I'm
bothering
like,
me.
yeah.
Like
I didn't know. I didn't remember.
I didn't know about the shows. But was I so engrossed in raising my kids now at this point?
I think it was in part the culture, the subculture that we had just in our family dynamic, that we were siblings, we lived our lives, but we learned to do it independently.
Okay.
Yeah.
We learned to do it independently and we made that okay and acceptable. That's just how it was. I mean, I remember going to your shows in high school when you were cheering and you were in the plays.
Yeah.
But then, and maybe it was the death of our father, where it was just like, Mom did go to work and she worked a lot. And then we lived our lives independently.
And we needed therapy. No, seriously. No, yeah, seriously. It's funny, but it ain't, you know, we needed therapy.
So I feel like we had these innate obligations to each other to be present in some way, shape, or form, whether you were intuitive or whether you were protecting or whether you decided to show up, you know, in our lives. We had this innate obligation to each other, but this kind of living collectively is really a relatively new idea for us.
You getting teary-eyed?
Not teary-eyed, but it's innate obligation without relationship.
Mm.
So it's like I want to be there for you, and then without the how you doing, what's going on, is there anything I can support you with? Like it's this thing I'm like working through right now actively in my life where I'm trying to better be in community, in relationship with people where I'm not anticipating and reading their mind and putting together, connecting all the dots to just show up without them asking or telling me how they want me to show up. And I think that it's very comfortable for us to be like, say less.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what I'm learning is like, there is a lot of value in like, no, say more.
Yeah.
So like teach me how to show up for you, not just activate me in the role that I'll always play. Because maybe I don't need you to protect me, but there's an opportunity for you to do something different, stretch yourself. Or, you know, I think having kids forces you to do this too. Like you want to go down and do it for them, but maybe that's not what they need. Or maybe that's not even what they would articulate they need. So I don't know. That's like,
let me come for you. So what is your?
So I'm the involuntary support role.
Okay.
Whatever you say, I'll be like, yes. Or whatever you need, whenever you call to pick my brain, I am like Kermit is accessible, available, and present. I'm the same way too. Like that is like I don't care if it's the last dollar. I don't care if I remember when you and your children were having a thing and they called me. I said, packed up the kids, let me go down mediate. You know.
Yeah, you both did. Not that you didn't, you were out of it, but you both did.
Yeah. So we share that. You're a part.
Y'all do that, yeah.
We do.
The Wonder Twins.
Yeah, I think that's what, activate.
Yeah.
Listen, but and she is, y'all trying to make it, I'm about to
Don't do it,
I'm just
Jesus.
about to get that emotional. But I guess it's we needed to talk about that. So yeah, I think that's what's up. Because Tiffany just shared, you know, I just had a conversation even with my good friendships. They have to call me and say they need me because I feel like I've done that for so long. I don't want to, you know what I mean? So, and I'm like, hey, if y'all call me and say you need me or you need me to be there, I'll be there. But I gotta get better at checking on you all, the people that I love and that I care about, that I have to say. Because I think that's been not just in our immediate family, it's in our mother's side of the family totally. Like, we know if we pick up the phone and you sound the alarm, as you know how it goes. When one person gets information, it goes through the family like a fire, right? A wildfire. And everyone will show up, but with Tiffany, but without a role, like without a purpose. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I could have did this over the phone. You know what I mean? But, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that we'll show up. Even if you don't really like the person that you're showing up for, you'll show up.
Okay, so now I have a counterpoint because while we're on this lane of being more cognizant about checking in, how liberated are you to be authentic about what you're going through? Is that a task for you to be, if I call and say, hey, Donita, I'm just checking in, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Like, how free are you to be authentic about what you're really feeling and experiencing?
How open are you to being transparent to that person?
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. Say, you know what? I ain't.
I'll tell you, man, I ain't feeling that shit today.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm just saying, I don't sugarcoat it. I'll be like, and don't call me with Jesus today.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in that mode. Not that I don't love the Lord. Praise the Lord. But I will tell you,
Praises be.
I don't feel like that today. You know what I mean? I know it. I know what Jesus do. But today, let me just sit in that for a minute. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I don't think y'all disagree. I don't have a problem saying it that way. But yeah, what about y'all? You feel like, well, I feel like sometimes you be like, everything's good. Everything's great. And then after a while, you'll go.
Oh, man, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, because I always try to keep the focus on what's going on with you. You know, I'll be transparent with that, because I do hold a lot of it. I do hold a lot, and I do pause, because that's just me with everything going on within my life. I feel like I got, like everybody has the weight of the world on their shoulders, and you always say, okay, well, who's checking in on you? So when you turn and you say, okay, you call. Sometimes I'm not as receptive because I'm still processing or I'm still working through it. But every so often I open up. That's just because a lifetime of working in that mode. Because, like I said, just for a long time, I wasn't working. There was spots here and there. But when I was working, it was always just me. It was always just me. And so it was just work, home, work, home, work, home. Figure out how to win at life. And it was learn from the good people and the bad people in life. Because it wasn't, it's no shot to mom, because mom worked. Mom had to take care of everything. And that's all she did was work. So that's all I had was the example was work. So I went to work. I learned everything I could from everybody that I did. Came home, ingested it, tried to internalize it, figure it out myself, apply stuff, fill it stuff, and it just was always me. And the only thing that ever helped me through that stuff was books, reading. Thanks, Mom, for that. Books, reading, YouTube, meditation. And I was just busy being the pillar for everybody else, all the other people, So, yeah. I'm a little
we weren't allowed to complain, bro.
We weren't allowed to.
So I think that's that right. You had to be a superhero because we weren't allowed to complain or Mom, nobody likes me in school. So what? You don't go to school for friends, right? So we don't know how to do that often. I realize that because I think even when I hear it from friends, I go. Back my mind, shut up. Like, you whine too much. Like, you complain. Figure it out.
Let me get Tip in here. Tip, do you feel like if someone called to check in on you and you were authentic about a not so great experience at that particular moment, does it feel like complaining to you?
it may not feel like if I was authentic with them.
Like if I call you and say, hey, everything, how you doing? And you're just stressed to the max. Do you feel like being transparent about the level of stress or the experiences that cause the stress would be a complaint? Does it sound?
And I wouldn't necessarily call it a complaint, but I would feel like I'm being a burden.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all are clear on what our superhero role was. And I think when you stretch the analogy out, the superheroes don't go to therapy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no one's like, Superman, do you need a day off?
Right.
You know, as soon as he doesn't do something, everybody was like, I'm Superman.
Yes.
He don't care about that. So,
right.
you know, Batman out here doing his
Destroying
thing.
the railroads.
You know,
Got money though.
and so I think that there's something to be said about when you feel so much of your identity is showing up for other people, it's giving, it's being helpful, it's giving advice, it's supporting people. That's been my identity. Like since I was a kid, people have been coming to me, old people, young people, I give them advice. When you do that, what people internalize you as is somebody who has it together.
Yeah.
And you don't need anything.
And you don't need anything. And you know what? I don't need anything. You know, like I'm not going to ask you.
Yeah.
The moment, whenever I talk to people, I'm just now beginning to unlearn this and practice this. It is so easy for me to keep the conversation about you. You know, because I do it to you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
People will be like, Tiffany, I've been talking for an hour. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. But you said this other thing 20 minutes ago. Like, it's so easy for me. So I'm also training people that you don't have to ask me how I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about me. I don't have anything. Like, you can't offer me anything. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm realizing, like,
No, you're not.
Like, I'm not good.
You are not
what's going on? And so I've done enough work to understand a lot of that comes from wanting to have the best relationship possible with our mother. Because I'm like, y'all always fighting, you ain't around, you and her be feeling, y'all have y'all things. I don't want that. I want to have a good time. I want to talk to her. I want to hang out. I want to be interesting. So
Yeah.
I think that like I'm not 40 yet, but close to it. And just now realizing like, oh, I have needs.
Yeah.
I have wants. I have convictions. And I'm still very detached from them. So I think when people call me and they want to know, I feel like I have so much inside that it's like, girl, you don't have time, or it's boring, or you got it. So I don't want to keep you on the phone because I'm a talker, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, and then I don't want to like you don't give people the opportunity to show up for you. And I had to learn. I was like, I don't know how you're gonna show up for me, but I can't know if I'm gonna give you an opportunity. And what I always appreciated about you, I think I saw it as bad for a long time. You had your feelings. You would be mad, you would be sad, you would express them, and I used to always be like, oh, she just make it like so crunchy, like she always gotta mess up the mood, or why she gotta be this or that. But I'm like, she said crunchy. And I'm like, but you
You gotta go.
but you're so much more liberated when you are attacked. Like I be feeling stuff, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you just feel like you're gonna be a burden.
I know this is an area I've got to work on. So I know I'm not good at it. Like I know it. And then, I don't know if I feel like I'm going to be a burden. I don't like to hear myself say it. Because I'm like, oh, girl, you sounding up for a lie. Or this is I don't like to hear myself say it. So I'd rather not. Go ahead.
No.
So you think if you speak it, you're gonna bring more of that?
No, I don't think it's like a manifest thing. It's just like, I don't want to hear myself say it because it sounds exhausting if I feel like I have to run it all down. And so I'll say a little bit, but it is very hard for me to open my mouth and call and say it takes a long. Like I gotta be damn near at the line.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is that when she said I was allowed to say it and feel it, which my clients say the same thing to me. They was like, some of them come, they don't even get their hair done sometimes. But they come, and I'm telling you to get their hair done. Because I've now realized it's a therapy session that they tell me all the time, you say what we want to say, and we're not allowed to say, or feel we don't give ourselves permission to say. And I go, really? But then I feel like, so that's why now I call it a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Because that level of transparency, I don't know where it comes from because I don't give a damn what you think of me after I say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because I'm literally like, she over there faking, like she ain't never been through nothing. And those are the people immediately when I walk into a room, I don't connect with people who are not really in their authentic self, like in their authentic space. Like I can see it. And not that I want you to tell me the low down dirty guts of whatever is going on, but I could tell, like, I'm all right. I don't even think life is good. Life is good. Those kind of people make my skin itch.
So let's do a little round robin, right?
Okay.
And just a few seconds. How can you practice being more authentic so that these check-ins become more meaningful?
Let me say this because I'm analyzing the conversations that Lenny said, you kind of standoffish, you don't open up. And it's usually, and I'm listening back to all these different conversations, all these different people. I do have a tendency to allow that person to talk first, find out what's going on with them. And whatever I have going on, I'll use it. I'll only say it after they say their piece in order for them to understand that, hey, this is what I'm going through. We're in the same boat, so don't feel like you're alone.
Right.
Don't feel like you're alone. That's the only way, because I want to know, hey, let's let you do what you need to do and say, hey, don't think I'm superhero. Look,
right.
I'm broke too.
Right.
Hey, I got $20. I got negative $39 too. So we just try to make it. We just try to make it a Thursday 11:59.
So do you want to piggyback on Kermit, or what was your response?
What's something what can do for the check-in? What's the question?
Yeah, like how can you practice being more authentic so that the check-ins are truly meaningful?
This is like what I'm going through in therapy right now. We're like, for the 20th time, I'm like, so what does authenticity mean again, girl? She's like, okay, let me give you a different definition. I think it's really hard. I mean, some of it is just going first.
Yeah, just going first.
I'm good for like, you start.
Yeah.
Because once you start, I can formulate and get my words together and like make the conversation real smooth. I'm communicating all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just give you my problems. I feel like I got to give you my solutions too, so you can see that I'm thinking through. Like it's like it's so much work. And so I think going first and just releasing, like understanding what the fear is, because a lot of it I realize is like judgment. They gonna think that I'm dumb or I'm making all the things I'm judging myself for that I've already decided I am, or I don't want people to know that. So I think for me it's just going first. Hey, and like letting people tell you, hey girl, I'm busy. Like I don't ever want to be the person that they're like, damn, she's still talking. We've been on a call for 3. So I'm doing also the anticipated, but I think going first and just letting people tell you what they need. If you guys hit a boundary, if you got somewhere to go, if this is not a good time, you're in a meeting, I had to learn it's okay for him to tell me that.
Right.
And not me being like, are you going to the meeting? Do you have time? I want to talk to you so. So just going first and then letting people tell me what they need.
Okay. Anita?
I go first. I mean, like it's just not that that's not a bad thing. I think I shared with you all before. I don't know how to sometimes, I'm learning now. I'm learning how to just tone it down a little bit because I don't have a problem with saying how I feel or being opinionated or, or just that, because I shared that I grew up because mommy had me so young. She was 15 and I kind of grew up with her siblings. So I'm probably, everybody gave me permission to talk out loud, to think out loud. It was validated from our grandparents to my aunts and uncles, because I would truly be the person to say what they wanted to say. I felt like I always got the alley. They always gave it to me. They dribbled it down. It was like, if we tell her this and we tell her that, we know she gonna be motivated. And all I gotta do is give her the layup. She gonna dunk it. So that was my position, and they would still do it to this day. You know what I mean? Like, Let don't need to say it. I don't know, just because it was all for them. And so I had to learn to stop standing up for people so much. You know what I mean? Because I had to be like, that ain't really my issue. I don't got no dog in the fight. You know what I mean? Because in the end, being that kind of person, you're the most resented person too. You know what I mean? Be like, here she, we know what she gonna say. You become that person. And so I had to learn to dial that back. So for me, I do now wait for you to say, you have Donnie, I need you. You know what I mean? Donnie, I need you. I think I've spoken to all of y'all individually, and you would have to say it that way for me. So, because I feel like I get in there, then I be trying to fix it.
Right.
And I'm not the fixer. Let me put my superwoman cape up. Because I don't have to save everybody. And
like Donnie, I need you.
Yes, and even learning how to do that for my own children. Yeah. Because, my children will tell you growing up, my mother was controlling. People everybody think, your mother's so cool. My kids be like, who? My mother? You're like, no, you don't know my mother. So, and they got a different dynamic, a different version of me. So, yeah, I've learned. So now I got to learn how to dial it back. But I'm here all the time, no matter what. Morning and night, 24/7. You can call me. You can call me. Listen, now depending on what person you activate at that moment, you gotta be like, do I really want her to show up? Because then when I'm coming and you call me, don't call me crying.
We'll get to those stories.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Crystal.
My goal is to, just say what I need. Like, say it. Just freaking say it. Just let the words fall out my mouth. And just to be honest with everybody.
And not feeling like a burden. Because that's what I get with y'all. That y'all were, but that's because when y'all were growing up, it was a different level financially stressed on mommy. You know what I mean? And so you didn't want to go and ask for something because it was like, what do you need? Why do you need it? What do you figure it out? Right. So I got a different little kind of version of her, then. So yeah.
That frees you up to ask a little more.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Time.
How to close on that. You might tell me how to close.
Yeah, that was a good close right there.
That was it?
That's a good close right there.
All right.